Hello, here we go. Right, I'm about to make an absolute debacle of Phantom of Truth. Is it Phantom of Truth? Yes, Phantom of Truth. There's my chaos bag. Because I died in the last scenario, I have cultists in the bag now. I have only ever played this scenario once before, and that was in a group of 4 about a month ago. Can't remember much about it. Think I died. I've switched to a investigator I have never played before. I stole the deck of Arkham DB about 3 or 4 weeks ago with the aim of doing some practicing, and Marvel Champions came out, so that didn't happen. So this is almost as good as a double-blind playthrough with an investigator I've not played before, a deck I can't remember, and a scenario I've only played once. So, should be good. Right, I have my Arkham style dice that I got from Arkham Dice, so I'm going to randomly select these 2 locations. I'm going to say an odd is the one on the top and an even we're using the one on the bottom. So this one, that's an even, so we're using the one on the bottom. This one, that's an even, so we're using the one on the bottom. Come on, give me an odd just to mix it up. No, it's an even, so we're using the one on the bottom. There you go. I'm not using my location markers because it's quite, it would get a bit too big for the camera. So, Patrice, maximum hand size is reduced by 3, and during upkeep, instead of drawing a card, I discard everything except weaknesses and draw up to 5. That's a completely different way of playing. I understand it's based on a Lord of the Rings character, which I have never played, although a second-hand copy just turned up in the post for me this morning. Eriador, something like that. I have a coffee. I've been tweaking with the delay on my cameras, so everything is reasonably in sync now. Whether it stays that way is a different matter. So, I'll do a bit more shuffle. This is all pre-shuffled, not predetermined, but I'll do a live shuffle just so I can't be accused of presetting everything up. And given how well my previous games have gone, I think you'll agree I could never be accused of doing that. Right. So, hand size of 5, draw 5, unexpected courage in the banging area, overpower, reckless assault, cornered, mists of relay. So, mists of really will give me some extra evasion powers. Cornered lets me discard cards to boost skills, which will be really useful. I'm keeping that because I'm going to be discarding cards in and around. Mists, I'm not sure whether to. I think I will keep that. That's 2 assets. The rest, unexpected courage, overpower, and reckless assault. Reckless assault is going to be better later when I have low sanity. Overpower, probably keep the unexpected courage, and I'll ditch the overpower. And I certainly won't be having a weakness. Wing it, which plays from my discard pile, and run for my life. So I will shuffle my mulligans back into my deck. Right, let's have a look. We have the Gardoze, Built in 1900, the train station was the first urban station in the world to use only electric trains. There you go, Arkham is education. So, Shroud of 4, 1 clue per investigator. I can spend a resource to move to any rail location. Oh yes, I remember this one. Vaguely. My agenda. First night, as you step off the train in Gare d'Orsay, the sun sinks below the Paris skyline. You cannot waste any time. If Nigel Ingram is somewhere in Paris, you have to find him and wring the answers from him one way or another. If you have more conviction than doubt, I don't, I have 0 of both. When checking the Doom threshold, Doom on cards other than this agenda, subtract. So I can ignore that statement. And Act 1A, the Parisian Conspiracy version 1. You pass the Church of St. Barnabé as you exit the train station and cannot help but overhear the organ playing. Is there a sermon this late in the evening? You marvel at the wild and strange chords for a moment before continuing. Paris is a big city and you have very few leads. So we can either spend 2 clues to advance, or we advance when we hit 3 Doom on the agenda. Right, so my book skill is 2. I can't use run for my life yet. In fact, what I'm going to do for my first action is spend 2 for cornered. I will discard, let me think, let me get this right. So I can discard 1 card to boost a skill test by 2 and its limit once per test. So even though it's a free action, I can only discard 1 card. So I can't discard 4 cards and get +8. So my investigate is 2. Let's investigate with an unexpected courage, and I will use cornered to discard winging it, because I can play winging it from my discard pile to get another +2. So I'm going with a 6 on a 4. 6 on a 4. Elder sign. Wowzer. I usually take the first pull of the day to say this is how the game's going to go today. So if that's a sign, yeah, should be good. We'll see. Right, so I've got my clues. First action. Second action. Sorry, there's a bit of glare down there. I'm sat slightly different way around this week. Hopefully that's not too off-putting. Right. So what do I need? I need another clue to advance the act. I could spend a resource to go anywhere by rail. I've done 2 actions, but I've advanced my tracker. Right, action 3. I've got absolutely no idea where I need to go. So I'm just going to go next door. Sure, should I spend a resource and travel by train? No, let's just go to the gardens. Third action, move into the gardens. 1 clue per investigator. 1 victory point. While a Biaki enemy is moving, if there is an investigator at the gardens, that enemy's location is considered to be connected to the gardens. Right, so a Biaki anywhere can move direct to the gardens if there's an investigator at the gardens. That's going to be a tough one to remember. I'm going to stick one of my red glass beads on here just to remind me that there's something odd with that location that I need to remember. Okay, so that's my 3 actions. No enemies in play. Nothing to ready. Discard and draw to 5. 1, Fearless. 2, Prophecy. 3, Defiance. 4, Pete. And 5, say your prayers. Get a resource. Doom, 1 of 6. Encounter. Also, if you have no clues, that's not correct. If you have 1 or more clues, test Book of 4 from each point you fail by and place a clue on your location. Right, what have I got here? I've only got a Book of 2. So chances are this clue is getting dropped back here, but at least it's only a 3 shroud location rather than a 4. I think I tank. I think I tank the test. Prophecy is no good yet because there's already Doom in play. There's only 1 Doom in play, and this only really gets a benefit when we get 3 or 6 Doom in play. Fearless walking, that's ahead anyway. So those 3 head ones are no good to me. Sorry, I'm thinking aloud on camera. So I could potentially add these 2, but Defiance is more useful. Prophecy is going to get more useful as the act progresses. I might, rather than commit Prophecy for 1, I might discard it. Where's that here? I might discard it to get +2 from cornered. So at least I'm testing a 4 and a 4. Four and a 4. That's 4. So failed. I lose my 1 clue. Right. Action 1. Let's investigate. Remind me what winging does. I will pay 1 to play Winging It from my discard pile, which I can do. This reduces my shroud by 1, so that brings it down to 2. I will use Cornered to discard Say Your Prayers for a +2. So I'm now testing a 4 on a 2. 4 on a 2. I don't have tablets or other things in the bag, it's just skulls and cultists. So Defiance isn't going to help me. So 4 on a 2. -1, that's a pass. And if I played it from a discard pile, gain an additional clue. Oh, and because I played it from my discard pile, it gets shuffled back into my deck. I love winging it. Hello, Jeff. Right, that was action 1. Nice, 2 clues in 1 go. Which actually, I can spend those clues to advance. I'm going to do that now after my first action. If you spent clues to advance, you nearly bump into a tall man, his coat and hat black as his skin is pale. You remember seeing him through the windows of St. Barnabas Church. His organ playing continues to haunt you. Spawn the set aside to the organist enemy at the lead investigator's location. Draped in mystery. Side up. Advance to Act 2, Pursuing Shadows. Which means Act 2A, Act 2, Stored by Shadows is out. The chords that echo in your mind, that infernal man whose organ playing intrigues and terrifies you. Perhaps there is a connection between this shadowy presence and the King in Yellow. After I successfully attack the organist, an investigator at your location may place one of his or her clues on the organist one time per round. If there are 3 clues on him, like that. So I have to attack him 3 times, and he is aloof. He has a fight of 3, and I have a fight of 2. Right. At the end of the enemy phase, we move the organist 1 location away. Excuse me 1 second while I add that to my tracker. Sorry, door. Just 1 second. I'm back. Sorry about that. Right. Yeah. A neighbour very kindly letting me know that it started to rain and I got some washing out. Right. So I have taken 1 action. I then advance the act, which has spawned the organist at my location, and I've just tweaked my tracker to add organist movement. Check. So at the end of the enemy phase, if the organist is unengaged, move it 1 location away. If it's engaged, disengage it instead. Right. So should I action 2 engage? And action 3, try and punch it as hard as I can with my measly 2. I can up it to a 4 with corner. But ideally I want to keep Peter. Hang on, I'm going to unpick that. I haven't revealed anything yet. Back to action 2. Action 2 is going to be play 3 for Peter because I don't want to lose him. And then action 3 is kind of pointless, so I think I will move. If I move, he'll move further away, so I've got to wait 2 actions to get into him. I might, for my third action, I might just engage him. Yeah, that'll do. At least I'll keep him with me. Right, Hunter enemies move, there are none. Enemies attack, Organist deals 1 horror, which I give to Peter. Move Organist, so he disengages, so he is back at my location and aloof. Nothing to ready. Redraw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know it's early days, but I'm quite enjoying Patrice so far. He's added a whole fresh outlook to the game. Right, I have 2 St. Hubert's Key in one go, and I have no resources left to spend on either of them. So wait, what did I get here again? Sorry, I read it all out and I didn't pay any attention. So I've got improvised weapon, unexpected courage in the bagging area, deny existence, encounter scarred, an enemy attack would cause you to do one of the above, ignore it. That's, well, it might be useful in the upcoming Mythos phase. 2 St. Hubert's Keys, I'm really upset about that because there's no way I can play either of them because I've just spent my money on Pete. Okay, Doom, that flips to 2 out of 6. Encounter, marked by the sign, peril. Test head of 2, if you fail take 2 horror. At least the man in the pallid mask isn't in play. Let's just go 2 on 2, and I've got deny existence. Skull means -2, so that's a fail. But I'll just play deny existence to cancel the horror aspect. Oh, and Peter healed that horror at the end of the last round. Relatively painless. Action 1. I need to punch the Organist. Let's action 1 engage. Action 2 fight. I'll play improvised weapon to give the enemy -1 fight, so that brings him down to 2, so it's 2 on a 2. I'll play unexpected courage to make it 2, that's 4 on a 2. If you don't mind, I'm going to rotate improvised weapon 90 degrees to remind me that I've got a card I can play from my discard pile there. So that's 4 on a 2. -1, that's pass. That's 1 successful attack on the Organist. So I place 1. Oh balls! I should have read the card properly. I need clues, don't I? That was a complete waste. I thought he was just placing a token on him to indicate you'd done a successful attack. Well, you live and you learn, don't you? Right. Action 3. I'm just going to gain a resource. No enemies move. Enemies attack. 1 horror repeat. Move the organist so he just disengages back to my location. Ready cards. Nothing to ready. We draw up to 5. 1, 2, 3. Another winging it. 4, 5. So I have Defiance, Sixth Sense, Winging It, Prophecy, and Say Your Prayers. And I'm just going to double check if I've got any other play from discard piles that I missed when I was discard. I don't think I have. So I have an improvised weapon sat there ready I can use from my discard pile. Dealing extra damage, not that I can damage the dude anyway. Doom goes to 3. Encounter. Spiders. Attach to your location and then place 2 Doom. If there is no Doom, you can discard it. So I can investigate to remove the Doom. There's no clues there anyway, so I've already got the victory point, but it's going to mean this moves on quicker. At least we have 3. Do we have 3 agendas? We have 3 agendas. So hopefully that's not too bad. Right, action 1. I need to go to clue hunting, don't I? Let's move to the Notre Dame. 3 clues, 1 per investigator. Sorry, 3 shroud, 1 clue per investigator. I can test head of 6 to remove a Doom from the agenda. Head of 6. Oh, and Peter heals that horror at the end of the last turn. I forgot again. Live Excel spreadsheet editing. Who'd have thought Arkham got that good? Right. I'm less familiar with these Mystic cards because I never play Mystic. Right, well, there are 3 Doom in play games. There are more than 3 Doom. In fact, there are 2, 3, 4, 5 Doom in play. So it almost gets a double question mark. I know Winging It. Say Your Prayers, I need to be horrified. Sixth Sense, I can investigate using my head of 4. That will be good. But it cost me 3 to play it. But it is an asset. So, action 1 was move, wasn't it? I've got no way of gaining 2 clues, 2 resources to be able to play Sixth Sense. I'm going to have to wait for it to come around a second time. Unless there's a second one in the bag, I can't remember. I'm going to investigate with Winging It, and I shall discard Say Your Prayers using Cornered to boost it by 2. So the Winging It reduces that to a 2. That boosts me to a 4. So it's a 4 on a 2. On a 2, and I'm going to throw Defiance in as well and say Skull. 4 on a 2. Elder Sign. Wowzer. That's twice I've said wowzer. I don't like saying wowzer. Right, so Elder Sign, I may shuffle all but one card from my discard pile into my deck. So I shall shuffle all but the improvised weapon. I don't know if that's classed as being in there yet. I'm just going to say not. Delays reintroduced again. This was spot on at the beginning of the stream. Stupid. And the other sign is a +1, so that was 4 + 1 against a 2. A clue. They are now discarded. So that was my second action. At least now I have a clue to deal with the Organist, or to get one. I think I might just carry on hunting clues. So third action, let's move to the Marais. Another 3 shroud, 1 clue. When your turn begins, if you're in Le Marais, you can draw a card. Well, that's handy. So that was my third action, I believe. I moved, I investigated, I moved again. Hunt, enemies move, there are no enemies to attack, and the Organist moves. So he's unengaged and he moves 1 location away from the nearest investigator. You could read that 2 ways, couldn't you? You could move it to 1 location away, but I'm going to read it that he's moving away. He's moving 1 location in the direction of away. So will that be Montparnasse? It could be either of those 2, couldn't it? Let's say that one. They're both 1 location further away than I am. Pete doesn't need healing, nothing needs readying. Discard and redraw. 1, Ward of Protection. 6th Sense again. 2, Last Chance. 3, Watching from Another Dimension. 4, Run for Your Life. 5, right, I have to refresh myself what Watcher does. Secretly add this enemy to your hand. Oh. You may fight to evade this enemy while it is in your hand as if it were at your location. If you succeed, discard it. If you fail, spawn it engaged with you. Alright. Okay, so if I'm reading that correctly, I need a single attack or a single evade to discard him. If the attack or evade fails, then he spawns with me. Or I just keep him in my hand. Although he is a hidden card, so he's going to stay in my hand, which means I only get 4 refresh each round. Secretly add this enemy to your hand. You may fight or evade this enemy while it is in your hand as if it were at your location. If you succeed, discard it. Yeah, it's if you succeed, so I don't have to defeat him, I just have to have a single good punch or a single good evade. My evade is 3, my fight is 2. I do have Run for Your Life, but my sanity is not low enough to use it. I do have Last Chance, but that loses pips for cards in my hand. 6th Sense is about investigating. Ward of Protection is about cancelling a encounter. Right. Doom flips to 4 out of 6. In fact, it's now 6 out of 6 because of that. So we advance. Birds start to chirp eagerly. An orange tint slowly spreads across the sky as the creatures of the night shrink back into darkness. You spend most of the day resting, and the daylight passes quickly with very little show. Before you are able to fully recover, it is evening once more. Each investigator disengages from each enemy engaged with him and may move to a connecting location. And then I move the organist, so I can move. I don't want to move. I want to stay here. Organist. The organist moves one location away from the nearest investigator. Well, there is no direction he can go from this point that is further away. He's currently 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If he moves here, he's only 2. If he moves here, he's only 2. So I suspect he stays put. Doesn't link to the one at the bottom. Oh, it does link to this one as well. So 1. That's only 2 to there as well. Okay, I think he stays put. So Agenda 2A, the second night. The city stirs as cold shadows embrace the streets. There is danger all around you. Danger that you cannot escape. Danger that will follow you to the ends of the earth. When will this waking nightmare end? My son's just arrived for breakfast, so don't worry if you can hear anything. And don't worry about making a noise. Well, I have more conviction than doubt. I don't, so I can ignore that line. 5 doomed to go. You alright? Yeah. And to international watchers, it is 20 to 1, and my son is just having his breakfast. Okay, right, so I've added the doom, now I take an encounter card. Swift Byaki. It's a hunter, and he has retaliate. Forced. When you would move by the hunter keyword, instead move it one location at a time until it enters its prey's location. If it moved more than one location, it does not attack. That's not very nice. Okay, action 1. So I've got a watch from another dimension in my hand to deal with, and I'm assuming the fact that I can fight or evade it while it's in my hand doesn't trigger an attack of opportunity because that is a fight or evade. I can't use last chance yet. I can't use run for your life because I'm not low sanity. Ward of protection would only have worked for a treachery. 6 sense will help me investigate. So I've not got a lot in my hand that's going to help me here. So I'm going to evade the Watcher because I'm already at 3 evade thanks to Pete. I will discard Run for Your Life to get a +2 from cornered. So that puts me on 5 evade. So that's 5 evade on a 5 for the Watcher. 5 evade on 5. I will go in the ward of protection. 6 evade on 5. And let's throw 6 sense in as well. 7 evade on 5. What am I doing? I can't do that. That's not an evade. So 6 evade on 5. It's not very good, is it? Should I throw in a last chance as well? Last chance loses a pip for each card in your hand. I'm assuming that's after you commit it rather than before you commit it. After I commit it, I have 2 cards in my hand, so it loses 2 pips, so it gains 3. I was attacking a 5. I already forgot what I was doing. 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's now 7, 8, 9 on a 5. 9 on a 5 to evade the Watcher. That is a success with a -1. The Watcher is discarded. Second action, I have no cards left. I now need to try and fight the Byaki. He has a health of 3. I have 1 resource. I will play Improvised Weapon from my discard pile. Contain 1. So I'm now, he gets -1 fight, so that brings him down to 1. And I am fighting with 2. And I will use corner to discard 6 cents to 3, 4. 4 on a 1. -2, that's a pass. Because improvised weapon was played from my discard pile, that does 2 damage. And because it was played from my discard pile, it gets shuffled back into my deck. So action 1 was evading the Watcher. Action 2 was fighting the Byaki. That should be around 2 damage. So action 3, I suppose there's no, well, it's got retaliate. There's no harm in having a punch, I guess. So a flat punch on the Byaki, 2 on a 2. We'll do 1 of each back to you if I fail. 2 on a 2. Cultist -2. If you fail, move Byaki's in play. Well, he's already engaged with me, and he does a retaliation. So 1 goes on Peter, 1 goes on me. 1 goes on me, not 3 goes on me. So that was my third action. Hunter enemies move, there are none, apart from the one that's already engaged with me. Enemies attack, so I take another 1 of each. I think that 3, did I? Organist moves, he stays put because there's nowhere further away from me. Heal Pete, ready cards, draw up to 5. Perception. Reckless Assault, it only works if I have 3 or fewer sanity. Fearless, if it's successful, heal a horror. Defiance again, and improvised weapon. Okay. Doom. 1. Encounter. Oh, it's another Swift Byaki. Oh dear. I did shuffle these cards. I did. Right, first action. I need to deal with these Byaki. Byaki. Byako. Okay, first thing I shall do, I will play improvised weapon for either card because I haven't got any money. I didn't take a resource on the upkeep, so now I spend that 1 on improvised weapon. So I fight the Byaki, that reduces him to 1, so I'm fighting with a 2 on a 1. 2 on a 1, and I shall commit Defiance as well to make it 3 on a 1. And say Cultist. Three on a 1, -1. Sorry, I'm off screen. 3 on a 1, -1. That's a success. So I've done another damage to the Byaki, which defeats it. I now have another one to deal with, but I have no money to pay for my second to replay that. So action 2. Cards in my hand are no good other than a corner to test. So action 1, attack, discard Reckless Assault for a +2 bonus with cornered. So that's a 4 on a 2. Skull means minus doom. There is 1 doom. 4 1 minus 1 on a 2. That's a pass. That's 1 damage. Action 3. We'll do it again. I'll use cornered, discard, fearless. So I'm attacking a 4 on a 2. Zero. So that's the second damage on him. Well, unfortunately means he's going to stick around. Right, hunter enemies move. Well, he's already engaged with the enemy's attacks. That's 1 of each on me. So that flips over to a 3, and Peter can take the horror. Organist moves. He can't go further away. Ready cards heal Pete. Redraw to 5. 1, 2, 2 unexpected courage in the bagging area. 3, this is really. 4, run for your life, and 5, another improvised weapon, and the resource. Don't forget. Doom, that flips to 2 out of 5, and an encounter card. Tortuous Cause, or Torturous Cause. Test head of 5. If you fail, put it in your threat area with a resource on it for each point you fail by. Each time you play a card, increase the cost by 1 and remove that resource from Tortuous Cause. That's not very nice. Okay, so head of 5. I'll go. My head is 4. I'll play an unexpected courage in the bagging area to go 6. And I'm going to discard Mists of Really for cornered to make 8. 8 on a 5. Minus 2. That's a pass. That toast smells very nice, Jam. You're making me hungry. Sorry. And I'm on a diet, I'm not eating toast. Right. Action 1. Let's pay 1 to use improvised weapon on the BI. So I'm fighting with 2, and that gives it a -1, so that's 2 against 1, and I shall use corner to discard run for your life to make it 4 against 1. Cultist -2, that's a pass. So that sticks the 3rd damage on the Byaki. He's done. Action 2, right, we need to get investigating. I will investigate. I have, my book is 2, Shroud of 3. I guess that improvised weapon that played from my hand, didn't it? So that can be played from my discard pile later. Crumbs, I'm going 50 minutes already. Right, let's investigate with an unexpected courage in the banging area. So that's 2, 4, 4 on a 3. Oh, I could have been drawing an extra card every round. Ah, failed. And action 3. I'll take a resource. No, action 3, that was my action 3, wasn't it? Because oh, whatever. I'm near the bottom of the table anyway, penalty's not going to matter. Onto enemies move, there are none. Enemies attack, no one's engaged. The organist can't move further away. Ready cards, heal Pete. Draw up to 5. Guts. Dexterity. Winging it. Merger. Deny existence. And say your prayers. Doom. 3 out of 5. Encounter. Is it another Swift Bayaki? No, it's Black Star's Rise. Test Book of 4. If you fail, place a Doom on the agenda or take a horror for each point you failed by, and it can cause the agenda to advance. So Book of 5. My book is 2. This isn't good. Book of 5. I use corner to discard Say Your Prayers because I can't use it yet. Oh, maybe not. Because if I take horror, then it's usable. But realistically, am I going to use another head test this round? Probably not. Whoa. Right, so let's use cornered to discard that to give me a boost of 2. So now it's 4 and a 5. Now let's undo. Oh no, I thought it was water protection, it's not. No, yeah, 4 and 5 to discard Say Your Prayers using cornered. So that puts me, yeah, 4 and a 5. 2 plus 2 against a 5. No, 4. 2 plus 2 against a 4. 4 against a 4. 4 against a 4. I can't speak properly. 4 against a 4. Let's have Deny Existence. 5 against a 4. Five against a 4. Wow. Wow. So that's 4 horror. 1 obviously goes on Peter. And 3 goes on me. But at least it means I'm able to use these desperate cards now when they start cycling back. I mean, reading that, if you fail, you must either place 1 Doom on the current agenda or take 1 horror for each point you failed by. I could just go 1 Doom. No, I'll take the horror because it will empower me with those skill cards. Right, action 1. Let's get investigating again. Winging it. So that brings the shroud down to 2. I'm now doing a investigating of 2 on 2. I will use cornered to discard guts to make it 4 on a 2. Skull minus X is the amount of doom, that's 3, that's a fail. Action 2, we'll do the same again and discard manual dex. Oh no, that's now in my discard pile. But I can't play that from my discard pile because I don't have a monies. Action 2, get a monies. Action 3, play winging it from my discard pile. You cornered to discard dexterity, so that brings it down to a 2, and I'm investigating a 4 and a 2 again. Plus 1. Second clue. No enemies to move. No enemies to attack. Organist doesn't move. Pete heals. You draw 5 cards, gain a resource. 1. Desperate Search. 2. Reckless Assault. 3. Ward of Protection. 4. Overpower. 5. Impromptu Barrier. I can't remember what Impromptu Barrier is. You can play it from your discard pile. So it's the evade version of winging it and improvised weapon. Doom. That flips to 4 out of 5. Encounter card says Deadly Fate. Test head of 3. If you fail, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded. You either draw his enemy or it attacks you from the discard pile. Test head of 3. I think I'm just going to ward that off. No, I'm not. So I take a horror anyway, so I could take a horror. Right, test head of 3. My head is 4. I have nothing I can boost it by other than a cornered. I'll spend cornered. I'll use cornered, discard that to boost me by 2. So that's 6 on a 3. Skull is -4. Failed again. So I discard cards on the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded. No. 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 Stealthy Biaki. So that's 2 damage, 1 horror. So I either draw it, it's 5 fight, use Hunter, but easier to fight when exhausted, or he just gets a hit on me from the discard pile. As much as I don't really want to, I think I take a hit. You right? That's 2, and then Pete takes the horror. Okay, action 1. I need another clue and then we can start dealing with the organist. We do have another act. No we don't, but this is the only act, isn't it? Let's go, action 1, we'll move to Montmartre. 3 Shroud again. One clue. Right. So action 1, I'm going to pay 1 for winning it from my discard pile. I will, so that brings that down to a Shroud of 2. I'll use Cornered to discard Impromptu Barrier to boost me to 4. That's 4 on a 2. No, I won't do that. I'm not. So I'll just use the Desperate Search because I'm now down to 3 or fewer sanity because I have 4 horror on me. So that gives me a boost of 4. So winging it drops that to a 2. This boosts me to a 6. So 6 on a 2. That's a -4, isn't it? So that's a pass. Right, so I have the 3 clues now to deal with the organist. And I played winging it from my hand? Or did I play it from my discard? I played it from my discard pile, didn't I? So it goes back into my deck. Action 2. I'm just going to move. Action 3. That's how I reveal that. And action 3, move. Right, Hunter enemies move, there are none. Enemies attack, he's aloof. The organist moves 1 location away from me, so where shall we send him? We'll send him here. Ready cards, heal Pete. You draw to 5. 1, 2. Desperate search, missed severely. Deny existence. Lost soul. Overpower. So lost soul. Check campaign log if you're more or equal doubt or conviction. I do. So I test book of X where X is your head. So I test book of 4. If I fail, take 2 damage. Book of 4. My book is 2. I can't afford to take the damage because that will kill me. Or I kill Pete. So 4 against 2. No, sorry, 2 against 4. I'm going to commit desperate search. So that makes it 6 against 4. And I will also commit. Also discard Mists of Rayleigh with cornered to add another 2. So that's, I've already forgotten, 2, 6, 8 against 4. 8 against 4. Cultist -2. That's a pass. Only have 2 cards now. Doom, that goes to 5, so this advances. To your relief, the sun once again begins to rise, blah 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 blah. Each investigator disengages from each enemy engaged with him and may move to a connected location. Move the organist 1 location away from the nearest investigator. That. If Jordan Perry is not listed under VIPs slain, I very much doubt he is, and I don't think I have got him ready to play. Jordan Perry. I didn't kill anybody, if I remember right. No. So, I'm just going to find Jordan Perry now. I wasn't expecting this. So Jordan Perry, it will be in The Last King, won't it? Jordan Perry, an imposing presence, is that right? Yeah, spawn him in, man. Oh, right, okay. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. And now we have 5 Doom left. We have more conviction than Doom. This gains blah blah blah, which I don't. Encounter. Deadly Fate again. Test head of 3. My head is 4. Zero. That's a pass. Come on, let's get moving now. Action 1. Move. Oh, I've got to move twice, haven't I? Is that a real location? I didn't get a resource. Is that a rail location? It is. Action 1, spend a resource, travel by rail to the organist. Action 2, engage the organist. Action 3, punch the organist. I'm fighting with a 2. Overpower makes it a 4. 4 on a 3, and I'll discard that to make it 6 on a 3 using cornered. 6 on a 3, -1 is a pass, 1 clue on the organist. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disappear 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm back. Right. Where were we? Onto enemy's move. So, Jordan Perry moves there. I'm here. I'm with the organist. End of attack, he sticks a horror on Pete. Organist disengages and moves away from me. There's no way I'm moving him here, so I'm going to move him here. Ready cards, heal Pete. Draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm having a niggling fear here that I may have forgotten to put the Man in the Pallid Mask in my deck. But the argument is, the instructions don't tell you to when you die. Tell me as a comment about the brooch clasp thing. Right. Doom. 1 out of 5. The clock is ticking. Encounter. Screeching Byaki. Brilliant. Does engage provoke an attack of opportunity? I don't want to rule check. I think it does. Sorry. Should know this. Fight, evade, parley, resign. Yeah, so it does. So I've got to deal with the Byaki first. Oh, he gets extra fight and evade because of my current horror and damage situation. Horror situation, shall I say. Right. I think I have to evade the Byaki so I can get another damage. Oh, and I've got to move to the Organist first. Oh, this has really slowed me. This is going to scupper me now. I think I'm down. I'm going to die. Right. That should be in my discard pile. Did I forget to draw a resource again? So these are what I discarded from my last go. I think I forgot to draw a resource, didn't I? Not that I can afford St Hubert's Key or Patrice's Violin, so Hubert's Key is no good to me anyway because that gives me -2 sanity, which almost kills me. Patrice's Violin would be nice for some extra cards. But I don't think it's going to do me much good now. Right, so I need to evade the Byaki. I need to move there and engage the Organist, so at least it doesn't run away any further. Would then mean these two are together on the next turn. Right, let's evade the Byaki. My evade is 3 with Pete. There is only one Doom in play, so Prophecy doesn't get a boost. So I would discard Prophecy using Cornered to get a +2. That puts me on 3, 4, 5 on a 3. 5 on a 3, and I'll discard Patrice's Violin 5, 6, 7 on a 3. 0. So the Byaki is evaded. Action 2, move. Action 3, engage the Organist just to stop him running away. Onto enemy's move, he stays put, he moves here. It isn't connected, is it? No, thank goodness. Enemy's attack, Organist does 1 horror to Pete. Organist disengages, so drops back to my location. Ready cards, heal Pete. Patrice redraws to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's perception, winging it, another Pete, and last chance. I'm now out of cards. So I need to shuffle this. And I can't remember. Is it take a horror, I think, to I think it's take a horror to recycle your deck. Which I shall selflessly. Oh, they should be in it as well. And number 5, Fearless. Get my resource. Doom puts that to 2 out of 5. Counter. Hunted by Byaki, test evade of 6. If you fail, reveal the top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is what you failed by. And then if Byaki or Omen are revealed, bad stuff happens. So, evade, I'm on 3 evade. Last chance is no good to me at the moment until I have no cards in my hand. Winging it's only good for... So I'm going to discard winging it to boost 2 with cornered. So that's on a 3, that's 5 against a 6. 5 against a 6, and I may as well throw in last chance. I now have 3 cards in my hand. So it loses 3, so that's another 2. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against a 6, and I can't boost it by any more than that. 7 against a 6, minus 4, so that's 3 against a 6, so I failed by 3. Discard the top 3 cards. We have a Pact, we have a Terror, we have a Byaki. Brilliant. This is rapidly turning into Benny Hill. I'm going to have a whole queue of enemies chasing me around the map at this rate. That's scuppered it now. I thought I had a plan. I thought what I could do was engage, fight, move with him, and then do that again so that I'm keeping away from these hunter enemies. But this is going to ruin that now. Well, I could do it without the fight, I think, as long as I successfully evade first. So my evasion is 3, he is 3. So action 1, use cornered, discard. Doesn't really matter, does it? Discard Fearless, so it puts me on 2, 3, 4, that's 5 against a 3. I've got nothing else I can boost it with. If this fails, I'm not getting away. 5 against a 3, minus 1, that's a pass. So he is evaded at this location here. Second action, engage. Third action, move with the Organist to here, taking an attack of opportunity of 1 horror, which I put on Pete. Right, hunter enemies, oh, these should be ready. Well, this one should be ready, that one's I just evaded. Hunter enemies move, so they all move here. Enemies attack, none, oh no, yeah, he gets another one on me, doesn't he? Not thinking straight. Now the organist just disengages from me back at that location. Ready cards, heal P. Take a resource. Draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 2 deny existence, Hubert's Key, a last chance, and a say your prayers. Doom goes to 3 out of 5. Talk about cutting it fine. Encounter, please not another Biaki. Yellow scientist, head of 4. Okay, I'm going to commit say your prayers to this. Because I have 3 or fewer sanity, I'm on 3 or 5 out of 7. So that puts me on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on a 4. Skull is -3, that's a pass. Action 1, engage the organist. Action 2, fight the organist. I have a fight of 2 against his 3. I will discard deny existence to boost me to 4 against 3. And I will commit last chance. Oh, other cards cannot be committed. Well, that's not committing, that's discarding a card to boost my skill value, so that's fine, I think. So I'm doing, so it was 2 plus 2, 4. I have 2 cards left in my hand, so that loses 2 pits. 1, 2, 3. So that's 7 against the 3. Please, oh please, 7 against the 3. I think it's going to be game over, isn't it? There's only... Because if I don't get away now, these are all going to come after me. And there's only 2 rounds left. Action 3, move with the organist, take an attack of opportunity, which I put on Pete. Onto enemy's move. This little squad all pop along to here. He attacks another horror, 3, 4, 5, that's putting me on 6 out of 7 horror. And the organist now disengages from me back at my location. Ready cards, heal P. Redraw to 5 and get a resource. Not spending any money now, am I? Overpower, St. Hubert's Key, manual dexterity, impromptu barrier, guts. Doom, we go to 4 out of 5. Encounter, it's going to be an enemy, isn't it? No, false lead if you have no clues. I do have clues. Oh, I can't afford to lose my clues on the highest shroud location on the board. If you have 1 more clues, just head of 5. Book of 4, my book is 2. I will discard impromptu barrier to make it 4 against 4. Using cornered, but I've got nothing else I can do. 4 against 4. -4. For each point you... That's it, I'm done. I'm done. I have no clues left now, so I can't damage the organist any further. Let's play it out anyway. Action 1, investigate. My investigation is 2. All I can do is boost it to a 4 and it's a 5. Wait a minute, do I have a wing in it? I don't think I do. I do, I have a wing in it. So I pay a 1 to play winging it from my discard pile. That brings the shroud down to 4. I shall pay use corner to discard St. Hubert's Key. Why is impromptu barrier discarded? Was that because I was gonna... Impromptu barrier is what I just discarded, isn't it? I think. Because I only have 4 cards in my hand. This is my first action. Did I use... or did I use it on the yellow sign? I probably did. Okay, discard St. Hubert's Key. So I'm now going a 4 and a 4. And I can't improve it. 4 and a 4. Game over, man! -2. Fell by 2. I played that from my discard pile, so that goes into my deck. While you were investigating, double the number of skill icons on cards committed to this skill test. Why did I not notice that before? Draw. Second action, draw. Third action. Well, does it really matter? Everyone's going to come and get me now. I think I'm just going to end it. I can't get those clues unless I go to Granguignol at the top. But then all those enemies are going to be here, so I can't get out again. And there's only... well, this is the final turn, so pass. Onto enemies move. Boom. Kill. That's 1 and a 1, 2 and a 1 and a 2, so that makes it 2 and a 3, 3, 4 and a 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that's 4 of each. So 3, 4, 5, I've got 2 spare, 3, 6, I've got 1 spare. So I guess I will take the sanity trauma. Ending on turn 14. At one point there, I thought I was going to do it. I thought I was going to lead these hunters a merry chase and just manage to lob 3 hits on the organist in time, but it failed. So let's check the resolution. The resolution. Yeah, we were defeated. We did not escape the gaze of the Phantom. I swap the cultists for elder things. And do I get any victory points? 1. 1 victory point. Go me. Woohoo! Right, there we go. Told you it would be an unmitigated disaster. Actually, it went better than I thought it was going to, and if it wasn't for those bad pulls at the end, I could have got those 3 hits on the organist, but the game wasn't having it. Okay, thank you very much for playing. I was the one playing, if you can call it that. Watching. Do apologise for my scorers. That's an hour and a half of your life you will never get back. See you next time.